I set out to make 4 games in the sweet old year of 2023. So did I make this goal? Yeah, I actually made 6 games. This is a duck, Super Spelling Battle Bee, the Bookworm, there's Skeletons on the Moon, ASBS, Battle Sim, and Little Stitches. Well, the truth is a bit more complicated. My goal was to actually make 4 games, spending like 3 months on each of them, making a more polished game. But in the end, I ended up making 6 Game Jam games, basically. So each game was made in a time frame of like 1 to 2 weeks each. A lot less polished, but I got 2 extra games out of it at least. So let's take a look at them in more detail, shall we? I got full devlogs on my channel, but here's a quick overview of all the games I made in 2023. A bit about me. 2023 was the first year I got like big into game dev. It's the first year I actually released any games. I'm not completely new. I've been a programmer for a long time now. I was teaching programming at university. I was studying all that Python stuff. And now I am making games with Godot 4. So let's look at my itch page. I released 6 small web games on itch in 2023, so let's just run through them in chronological order, shall we? The first game I made in 2023, another Game Jam game actually, is This Is a Duck. This is a game about making custom ducks to complete orders. You push these blocks around a factory to spawn ducks in, and they get stuff such as guns or brains, and you send them out on a train. I think it's pretty neat giving the ducks these stuff. You can see them visually, grow big brains, nerd emoji, am I right? Or have a minigun, and you just send them off to fight in a war or something. I was also like added these custom duck pages with randomized facts about the ducks, and you couldn't actually send out ducks who were sus. It'd just like mark it that this duck was sus or something. You'd be punished if you send them out. Pretty neat stuff. I like the idea that you'd read these funny facts about the ducks before again just sending them off to die in a war. But This Is a Duck, being my first ever game, had quite a few problems, let's just say. Mainly, it was before I put any real effort into trying to make my code clean and legible. It is a mess. It's a mess. But I like the setting for this one a lot. I was actually going to expand it. Look at all of this that I had planned out. I fixed things up after the jam, but ultimately, I moved on. I do sort of want to eventually come back to this one and focus on mainly the space race branch, turn it into a somewhat of a duck rocket sim game or something. We'll see. The next game I made would have been Super Spelling Battle Bee. It's a multiplayer asynchronous word game, made in 1 week for the Godot Wild Game Jam. It's basically just an auto battler, but you purchase letters to form a word. This word then battles another player's word, just completely picked at random. It uses Silent Wolf for the multiplayer aspect, if you wanted to know. It's pretty simple, but functional. I did everything myself in 1 week, and it shows. Do you want to know a secret? I've actually been remaking this. New Super Spelling Battle Bee. Look at the improvements. Look at them. There's a lot of them. This will be coming out early next year, early 2024, I should say. Just free on web and mobile. So look forward to new Super Spelling Battle Bee. I also made a game for the next Godot Wild Game Jam the month after. This theme was Forgotten Knowledge. I made the Bookworm in 1 week. And on that day, kids, humanity lost all its knowledge to the Bookworm. Grandpa, do you ever think the worm will return one day, Grandpa? Oh no, son, don't worry about it. It's just an ancient myth. I wouldn't really worry about it. You were meant to be this big circle worm that goes around eating books and people alike, but I ran out of time in this one big time. The web build was effed up, and I figured that out way too late. I tested it way too late. Most people in a game jam will just play the web game, not download it. I fixed it after the jam was over, as I couldn't while the jam was getting rated. Obviously, that's how game jams work. I was doing the physics in the wrong process, basically, which I obviously figured out after the fact, which goes to my main lesson. Always test the production build of your game. If it's a web game, test it in the web browser earlier on. Another game that I ran out of time with was My next one, there's skeletons on the moon. This was for the 1-bit game jam, so that's why it's in black and white. Basically, you're this dude who was sent to the moon. You need to collect the weapon parts from the rocket drops. There's some pretty neat cutscenes slash effects I made in this one. This game does work, and you can finish it, which is pretty neat. There is an ending. It is finishable, but there's not much depth to it at all. That's how I ran out of time. But yeah, you just nuke the skeleton moon queen, destroy all the skeletons and yourself. Game number 5 was Age of Super Battle Sim, or as I call it, ASBS. I won the simulator game jam for this one, actually. Well, I tied first, but there was no real theme for this other than making a simulator game. This is just a simple copy of Tabs, Total Accurate Battle Sim, if you didn't know. You spawn in a situation and need to summon these little dudes to battle the enemy setup of the same dudes. Not much to this. It is pretty fun to watch them fight, I do think, just like Tabs is. Some levels may be a bit unbalanced because I ran out of time in the game jam, but oh well, you always run out of something in a game jam time-wise. I might come back to this actually, just add more units. This is just from an asset pack I got in some bundle ages ago. Add some more levels also with those new units, but we'll see what I do in 2024 if I come back to ASBS. I still got the files, so we'll see. And finally, game number 6 that I released in 2023 was Little Stitches. This was made in 2 weeks for the Big Mode Game Jam, which had the theme of mode. Basically, you play as a girl who's constantly shrinking and growing. This changes the game to 2 different gameplay modes. There's a small mode, where you're tiny and you need to complete orders by encircling these fabric things. And then you grow into a big mode, well, a normal size mode actually, it's called a big mode, where you're in the middle of a fashion show doing poses for points. Look at her go. Core from Spilling the Milk did the art and music for this one, and I think it turned out pretty well. My favorite thing about this game though, honestly if you want to know, is to just click the girl in the menu. I've done this way too much. I've done this way too much. I should have added a counter when I added it in. I wish I did that. But Little Stitches, pretty good. But that showcases my entire year of game dev, from This Is a Duck to Little Stitches. So, how would I rate these games in order from worst to best? There's Skeletons on the Moon is the worst, then The Bookworm, ASBS, then Super Spelling Battle Bee, This Is a Duck, and finally Little Stitches being the best, because it was the latest game I made and I had a bit more time. So yeah, subscribe to me, Gamer Time, leave a like if you want, and I'll see what I do in 2024. I want to focus on a 3D game or something, you know, for a Steam release. That's my main goal of 2024, is having a Steam release of something. So will I be able to do this? Follow me to find out, and yeah, I don't know. See ya gamers, have a good luck in 2024. Bye bye.